Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of events happening, some very complicated. Izuku met with the O5 Council, all 13 of them. The administrator was here with O1 through O12, and this meant quite a lot. Deku, he talked about what happened in the 5000 reality. He also expressed to them a few of his own concerns. Deku has lived a very interesting last couple years. He finds himself currently trapped in his 16-year-old body. Meanwhile, he talked to the Foundation about wiping his memories and letting him get new ones. The Foundation, however, they weren't just going to allow this request. They wanted Deku to give them information about what happened. They need to know more so they can prevent something like this from happening again. Also, 5 to 6 years? That's a pretty long time. If he uncovered new anomalies, they'd like to know. If he encountered anomalies and managed to kill them, they'd like to know. For example, say did he manage to kill 096? Did he manage to kill the old man, 106? What exactly happened? Did he encounter anything dangerous? Or did he simply encounter a few dozen anomalies, run around, and try to survive? Izuku, he made things quite clear. He was quite distressed talking about all of this, but O4 talked about it. He's willing to make a deal. He brought to the council about what they can do. In exchange for erasing his memories and implanting new ones, they want a few things. They want Izuku's help cataloging what happened to him in the last few years. The information he's given them, it is truthful from what they understand so far. He is in the 5000 database, and one of the only events they've seen cataloged of him was the final event. The last few logs of the 5000 suit. It's simple. He was found under a dead sequoia tree, an old burned out tree, and he sat there before Pietro Wilson enlisted him in trying to find the rest of SCP-579 to reset the world. Deku had that encounter along with even a few others with Pietro Wilson. It's simple. They need to know more. If Izuku can be used as a reset button, they need to consider this possibility. If it can be helpful at all, the Foundation need to keep their options open. He stopped an XK class scenario, one where the world was literally destroyed. He even helped discover a new anomaly for them, one that's beneficial to humanity. I mean, without this information, they wouldn't know much. They wouldn't know a lot. Now, Deku was given a therapist, he was given journals to catalog the events, and he was given a simple deal. However, the Foundation made it quite aware. It's going under pending review and possibly approval, but if he does want to work with more anomalies out in the field, they are willing to do this. Let him go out into the real world right now to recover and contain anomalies, be a part of task forces, and eventually work him up into integrating into the general population, going out into the public and not freaking people out. Maybe get him some teeth implants so his sharp teeth don't stand out, and maybe some contacts or glasses for his eyes. He looks mostly human. Mostly, but he's not human. And currently the O5 Council, they have omitted one thing. That might take a while to get approved. It's not an immediate concern of theirs, but if they allow him to go out and interact with the public in small bursts, he will want to work with them and eventually realize how strange the anomalous is to people. That's the hope generally. Though Izuku himself, he is tired of a few things, mainly being the one who always is left alive. He's had a lot of people die around him. He wants to have his friends back. He also wants to find out why he's this way. He wants answers to a lot of questions. And some of them, he knows the Foundation can't really answer for him. Especially some of the ones he does want to ask. Now, with that being said, we do currently cut to about 2 weeks later. A few things have happened. With the fact that an MDF task force has not checked in, along with even other agents the O5 Council have approved to go out and investigate a sighting, it means a bit. A skilled MTF task force disappeared after their scouts, and that was after a number of missing persons reported in an area in California, out in the woods. So, this is a problem. Right now, all they're aware of is tourists and possible hikers are gone, along with even some reports of locals from the area. If the Foundation can keep this under wraps, they should. If they can't, then they are going to have to anesthetize the entire town and figure things out there. Possible cover stories, and, well, make things up. They'll need to cover their own bases. And speaking of that, it's been 2 weeks since Izuku's meeting with the O5 Council, and currently somebody does go walking to a store. Currently a younger couple walking in and looking around. The man going to walk over to the counter and try and ask for a bit of directions, as the woman will walk by and then go to turn. Currently her looking at some of the fridges in the back of the store and opening 2 up. Her going to grab a soda from one and then going to turn. Her grabbing some waters and then going to turn back. Her going down the candy aisle and picking up some junk food, along with a few bags of chips. The guy walking back over as she could somewhat dump the payload on the counter. The old man going to turn, looking up and asking exactly if they're going to be heading into the woods. Because, they're not going to lie. A few strange things have been happening. We should be fine. We're just passing through right now. Though we were going to be making camp. We've been in that car for hours. I see. Though, we paying cash or card? 'Cause you said you were also going to get cash. Were you going to put it all on one card? Yeah, I was. Though, you think that's enough? Your boy out there is a, what, teenager? He should be fine. Besides, kids these days are more worried about being connected to those damn phones. The man turning his head, staring on and seeing a younger looking man sitting in the back seat of a car, which does appear to be piled high in camping gear. And we do currently have Izuku, who does sit in the back seat, him turning his head and going to listen, him able to hear the conversation, as the two do somewhat talk about it, expressing about how he should be fine. Besides, it's her sister's kid. They just had to pick him up. They were already heading out here, and there was a bit of a problem, so he had to head home. It was a bit of an emergency. Then again, they're just catching up. They're not too far behind. Right. Listen, that's your business. I don't really care. But, him ringing it up. Turning to the man and giving him the total. Him biting the bullet and paying the money. Right of them taking their stuff and heading back outside. The man going to pump the gas as the woman is going to get back in the car. Her turning after pulling out a bottle of water and a protein bar. Handing it off to Izuku. Her still facing away from the store and expressing to him. Right. Okay. So listen. They're still being a bit more covert about a lot of this stuff, but he's got to blend in. Also, when they do get out, the mask. Wear it. Him nodding his head. And the person, they do something to stare at Izuku. Still a little bit intrigued by this whole thing. I mean, they're taking an anomaly on this hunt. Okay, so it should be fine then. I mean, they've got the other anomaly, and well, no. He's more of a hunter and a tracker, so he makes sense. The other one, though, they don't know too much about their anomalous abilities. Aren't they a new anomaly too? I mean, it does make sense though. Hey, it's just a few families coming in and trying to go camping or taking some trips, you know? Yeah, I mean, the area's nice, and hell, they're trying to make memories that they'll remember. Whatever. Whatever excuse you want to give them. It just works. Currently, the vehicle pulling away, and the task force, they do make their way to the area where the anomaly is said to have been reported by the Foundation. And this, it does not worry them. They do have their gear packed. And the Foundation, they have somewhat gotten the area a bit more cornered off. It's not public knowledge yet. However, they have been worried. They've sent in some of their own agents to lock down the place and, quote unquote, take over. It's simple. Right now, the people who are supposed to be running the park and or campgrounds have been sent off and are currently being indisposed. So, once they get everything done, they can be amnesticized and then put back in their proper place. They can just have an incident written up, and that will be that. And currently, there actually is where Deku has his own step out of the car. Him look around the area and seeing a lot. As currently, some people do come walking up. The MTF, all together right now. A squad of 6 agents along with Izuku and another anomaly. As Reno Deku would turn his head staring at Rose, the druid. Her wearing a beanie to cover her strange looking ears. However, her red hair, it does poke out a bit. Her still surprised by a lot. And the guy walks up expressing, can anybody tell him what the hell she's saying? Because they've been trying to talk to her and they have the translator. But I mean, still. Trying to translate this whole language and shit, he's pretty sure that thing's busted. Deku turning and talking out loud. Currently, Rose turning her head as Deku would bring off the glasses. Her going to smile and expressing. The man really does not seem to be the outdoorsy type. However, he also seemed vulgar and loud. And Deku, he will get his own turn to the man. The man asks exactly what the hell she's saying. To which Deku would go to express. She's saying it's a lovely day. And the man, he's a bit annoyed. Currently, him turning back to the translator and talking about how this damn thing might as well be busted. Besides, aren't they still studying her freaking language? Yeah, that's why these two were supposed to ride together. We have the thing just in case. It's one of our many scanners. For right now, we also gotta look into the area more. Listen, from what we got, reports show things happen at night. So are we sure this is a 1000 incident? We don't know what this is, actually. So far, the Foundation has found evidence suggesting it's a 1000 incident. But if they're wrong, they don't want to be liable. We've also found a few other things. And the report about the missing persons, along with the gore site. Right. Okay, the original site, it's already expired. It's already been cleaned up, and what's left of that unfortunate hiker is, well, buried already. So we don't really know much. What about our guys? Don't know. Area was secured a few days ago. We got everything put together and set up. People are being told about what's going on. As far as they're aware, it's being shut down because it's something out of their own pay grade. Wild animals on the loose. And that was the official story. Right. Listen, if we need to, we'll cover our tracks there, in case they did see anything that they didn't tell us. We'll look into everything and find out more. But for right now, we need to focus on trying to find the MTF. Somebody turning to Izuku, expressing to him, "They're out in the wild and there shouldn't be anybody out here. Just in case, however, do not transform. Don't take flight. If people get sight of a fucking dragon monster or some shit, it'll raise more alarms. Besides, there's a road about 5 miles that way." The man gonna point, expressing to Izuku not to go near it, unless he crosses by fast. The man then asking Izuku about his top speed. And Deku, he doesn't want to stand there. Currently, him turning and bringing his hand up, pointing to a tree about 100 yards away. And the man, he would turn his head. Currently, him looking towards the tree. And then seeing that Izuku, he's already about most of the way there. Currently, him bringing his hand up and tapping onto it. We're going to turn and run back. The guy watching Izuku do this near effortlessly, as right now, he would actually just won't stand there, before going to bring his hands up and then crack his head. We're now him twisting it to the right and then to the left, talking about how he's happy to be out in some woods that are not burned. And some of the people here are a bit confused. However, the commanding officer or the person in charge of the MTF right now, they do get to express. Right. Listen, they'll get things set up. They can search the area while some of them get stuff unpacked. They can get things set up and see what to do here. The vehicles can stay packed up. Currently, a mobile site has been set up. I'm going to turn, expressing to one of the trucks that are rolling up on the site about what's going to be happening. This one loaded with not only more supplies for the group, but potential gear and weapons they could not pack in those vehicles. Along with them right now, the sleeping quarters being shown to the team. And the area, it is set up along with even floodlights for the area. If this is an SCP-1000 incident, they need to be on guard, alert. Along with that, they need to be aware of the quote-unquote other abilities the 1000 might have. Along with the fact that its look could potentially kill some of them. However, that's a whole different story. The MTF, they're going into the field with information. However, are they going into it with the right information? That's the thing they need to be aware of. And right now the commander, he does take a stroll into the woods, trying to look and see about anything. Trying to see if their own people might have left behind clues about what may have happened. Just because they got lost in those woods or got killed doesn't mean there's nothing worth investigating. Currently, this is one of their many concerns. As right now, we do actually have Deku, who he does should help translate a few things, along with even trying to help update the Foundation translator on Rose's language. Now, this does mean quite a bit, and hours do begin to pass. The team unloading many things, along with even some members of the MTF still a bit more intrigued. Because apparently this girl here, she can talk to nature. And that is a very big thing. Izuku's even expressed it. Her abilities are more than that. He's seen her do quite a lot. Her abilities are far more than what they would expect. And he has just left it at that. Though Rose herself is still intrigued about this future Izuku talked about. And he has to tell her about it. Though from what he has told her, it was rather unpleasant. Now, we do actually cut to a bit of time later. The sun has begun to go down, and the team, they have gotten everything ready. And there actually is where a man does sit there. Him holding a branch as the fire, it does crackle. Them already having scarfed down some food. And Deku, he does a stare down at one of the symbols the man carved into the dirt. Him expressing, right, okay, so this one's pretty simple. Him drawing a circle and then drawing a line down, and then drawing a U all around it all that doesn't connect. This one, it's simple. I mean, well, sort of. Once you start to understand the way these things look, it's easier. It's all about memorizing them. This one's stay in the dark at all cost. It means that the anomaly, it can't see you in the dark. And then there's one like this. Him running his boot over the dirt. And then going to draw two circles and then drawing lines in the middle of one, sliding it over to the other. It looking almost like an old strongman bell. Basically, two circles with a line connecting them. This means they're being watched. If they see this symbol, alert them. Well, there's also this one. Him showing Izuku a few more of the field codes the Foundation do use. And Izuku, he does ask about any that could be potentially, well, immediate to know. And the person, they do sit there for a minute. As another member of the MTF would walk over. Her asking Michael if he's really trying to teach the kid about the damn codes. We sort of have to, right? He's going to be working with the MTFs. We don't know what he'll encounter or deal with. Besides, last time he worked with the task force, wasn't he a bit of a loose cannon? That's true. Though, if I'm aware of it, he also was new to things. He's a bit older now. Luma's not going to turn, asking if he's going to run off into the forest like a dipshit. And Izuku, he says no. Because that is a good way to get others killed. No, kid, that's a good way to get yourself. Never mind. Right. Her looked down, expressing, maybe show him the one about the reality bender. I mean, that one's a pretty simple one, or, well, no, the hostile being one's also a bit simple. Just basically just draw V's on one side, and then draw that, and then draw them again. Just a bit backwards, like you're drawing an A. And Deku, he does this, don't see it. It does seem rather simple, though it is rather strange. Currently Rose sitting there as well. Her currently holding onto a leaf and whispering something to it. As right now, she would just want to turn. Her going to suck in her breath and just don't blow it out. Currently the leaf flying on the wind. And Deku, he just won't turn his head. Him watching that and then just won't smile. Happy to see his friend alive in front of him again. A friend who he spent a long time with. One that he was close to. And this, it does help him relax more. It's a rather similar scene, though it's a better one. There's none of that strange smell in the air. What did Dr. Bright call it again? An eruption? It's not like one of those nights where they had the volcanic ash rain down on them. Though if it is going to rain, it's probably just going to be water. Regular water. And this does somewhat comfort Izuku. The person turning their head and bringing their hand in front of Deku's face, expressing to him, "Hello, Earth to Anomaly. Sorry. Right. Did you get the last one?" Deku looking down and seeing the simple thing. Okay. Got it. Okay, good. Listen, we'll be heading out soon. Gear's still charging, and it's still daylight out. As far as we're aware, we got about an hour or two. So right now, if you do need to, get rest up or stretch. I don't know exactly how you work, but I just know that you can't die. You're also weird as hell. Happens. I'm sure it does. Listen, we're used to weird as hell. We can work with that. It'd be a bigger concern if you were fucking normal. The person telling him he really needs to stop that. Deku turning his head, looking at somebody who does gonna walk up. Them talking about it. Okay, if they're done pussyfooting around, they need to get to work. Fact is, they have a 1000 to capture. And if this thing it's going to be a problem, they might need to neutralize it. They've got two anomalies here on their side right now, and they're assuming the kid will be immune to the anomalous effects. The main reason they want him here is to get him more field experience. The Mango Express. Right now, this is a mission where being covered is a lot. They're going to be breaking up into one-man teams, though they're not going to be going too far away from each other. They will be in radio contact with one another. Izuku will get the chance to go solo, if he does want to, though he'd recommend having somebody on his team. He's the only one in contact with a druid right now. Their translators aren't immediate. They need immediate on this operation. So, there are going to be 4 squads, 2 each. Him and the druid, and then the other agents already know who they're pairing off with. Go over the symbols with the kids one more time. Show them some of them. How many? What they might need. Mainly the ones about silence, where it might be. The 1000s are... No, they can see in the dark. They used to be called the Children of the Night. Right. Tell them what they need. Show them those symbols. Though that should be it. And Deku, he is given another review. The man showing Deku, as Deku also tries to talk about the symbols with Rose. And this does pose a bit more questions. Michael, the man sitting here, can see how Izuku is acting. He is rather curious, but he also shows some familiarity with some of the symbols. And Deku, he does like knowing what more of them do mean. He remembers trying to be taught some of them on his last MTF mission, the one that actually found Rose. So yeah, this does mean a lot. And he does have a lot going through his head. Not only wanting to be out here longer, but hoping they don't catch this thing on the first night. He's heard about the SCP-1000s, or as the general population call them, Bigfoot? A big, hairy ape man? Or, well, they come in a lot of shapes and sizes, right? So, it should be okay. It's not like he's battling anything worse than that. Though, has he encountered a Bigfoot? If it's anything like an adult, it should be easy to take down now. Then again, his abilities are backtracked. This is on Izuku's mind. And currently there actually is with the team, they do get to head out. Currently Deku and Rose being paired up and heading out into the woods. And the other members of the team, they do have their body cameras on. Somebody running the comms and making sure that everything here at base camp is set up properly. They don't want any interference. As far as they're aware, there should be a standard catch and bag operation. Bring in the 1000 if they can, neutralize it if worse comes to worse. If there are more than one, that's going to be another problem. They'll have to update the MTFs and let them know these things might be grouping together. It will be an interesting instance, though, seeing how that plays out. So yeah, if need be, things will be very interesting. We do actually have Izuku. Him and Rose do to make their way through the woods. And the MTF members, they are trying to find the evidence of Bigfoot. And Deku, there actually is where he's passing through an area. Him trying to keep his nose sharp, but only being able to smell the area. He can hear the water nearby. He can hear a lot of things. Some of the bugs and the creatures out here. And these noises, they're new to him. Most of it was gone whenever he was out hunting before. If you did hear it, you'd hear a lot. You would hear the people moving, the shuffling. Though, this also does pose more questions. This does pose snap. Deku turning his head. And Ghost won't stop. Trying to listen in. And he will get someone to ask over the comms. Who stepped on the branch? Everybody hearing Izuku speak silently and softly. And everyone, they just don't freeze. The person on comms, well, the person sitting somewhere running comms, expressed to Izuku. Nobody stepped on any debris. As far as they're aware, they're still moving through paths. The areas they're exploring right now are very simple. Though, did he hear something? Deku looking around and not seeing anything. And there actually is Rose, who she actually doesn't want to turn and look towards a tree. Her walking over to it and going to listen for a minute. Before also going to have her hands glow and being able to whisper out a few words. And currently Deku, he does a turn. Her going to express a few things. Turning and pointing a direction. As Deku, he would have turned bolting that way. And the moment he has to just express he thinks he has something, the members of the MTF, they do to wait. They're aware he's unkillable. And this means a bit. He takes on the Bigfoot, they come with the tranks and get it down. That's the idea right now. Though, it could just be a stray animal. They don't want to jump to conclusions. And currently, there actually is where Deku, he does go running through the area. Currently, him not seeing anything. As it doesn't do him any good. He finds the area. But whenever he doesn't actually look at the branch he thinks could have been snapped on the ground, he sees a few others. Along with even seeing, turning his head, and having that smell hit his nose. Him smelling rot, smelling decay. And it does make his nose unnaturally tingle. Him staring at a knife that currently is embedded in a tree. And we do actually have somebody running comms, they do to see the symbol that was carved in with the knife. They see what must have remained from the MTF. Though that knife does have blood on it. Deku walking over. As right now the person in the chair, they do have their face want to drop. As currently they do see a symbol that shouldn't be here. A symbol that means something really, really bad. And right now, the symbol, it looks like a C with 2 slashes cut down the very bottom of it. And that symbol, it's not very good. That symbol shouldn't be here. That symbol means you should not be taken alive under any circumstances. Do not be taken alive. And the fact that that's on this operation, the fact that somebody who knows MTF symbols left that here, it doesn't seem right. There's something more to this hunt than what they must not know. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.